Hello YouTube, it's Over the Line 92 here with another video of F1 2014, about to start another career mode at Canada. Obviously we're in qualifying, we made to Q3 rather, and we're able to do a good race here. We are currently in 7th, obviously no one has actually gone out yet, but we're going to go straight out. We've got a nice setup on our vehicle at the moment. It's going to give us some good high top speed, as obviously Canada is a very fast place indeed. And fingers crossed that we'll be able to get through. Jensen Button didn't make it. I think he's in 10th or something like that, 11th. I'm not entirely sure, but he's not in Q3. So out we go, onto the pit straights. 10 people in qualifying now. So obviously, I'm going to think about cutting these videos down a bit, because it does get a bit boring once you get through to the other sessions. But we're just going to fade out here and go to our fastest lap of this qualifying session and see what we can do. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so coming down the long straight at the rear of the track now, going to 8th gear, you've got to brake heavily once you reach the 100-metre barrier, and then 4th gear, clip the apex. A bit wonky as we come out into the long straight, but we are currently on a 117.5, which is a pretty slow lap. But as we come in, that was a 116.6, the one we was just on, because we did actually get a good time. But now we come out, and this is going to be our fastest lap of the session that we actually recorded. So down into sector 1, got to make sure you can cut it quite nicely here. You're allowed to do that, and then it gives you a better drive on the long straight. Most people would brake later than what they actually need to. And then we just did the purple sector there, so you can cut this corner as well. You need to do that, otherwise you basically ruin this corner as well. So something you also need to think about when coming up to sector 2. This is the most tricky part, and this is where the AI are really fast for some reason. I think I messed up my line a bit there, because I think the fastest lap I've ever done here is 1:15.5, which is pretty damn quick. But on that occasion I didn't do very well in sector 2, but already we're 0.5 seconds faster than our previous lap, which goes to show how slow that one really was. As we come down into sector 3 now, in the last part of the circuit, DRS is now enabled. That allows you to get up to 8th gear and the rest of the gearbox. And it's the same again, 100-metre barrier, and oh Jesus, a major corner cut there, and then you get a second DRS zone to come across the line, and it is a 116.016. So that's pretty fast. That puts us into 8th place overall, but I think we'll get knocked back down to 9th. But we're going to fade out and head to the results of qualifying.
That's a 5th row start for us tomorrow. You're in 9th.
So here we go.
Right where we expect.
Lewis and Rosberg are at the front as expected, with Fernando Alonso in 3rd, with the Red Bull Sebastian Vettel in 4th. I came 9th overall, Bottas is behind me, and then you've got Felipe Massa in the Williams in 5th, and the rest of the field is pretty mixed. But let's go to the race. So here we are at the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is on pole as before. I think Nico Rosberg got a penalty, because that was the Ferrari in 2nd place there, so that moves us up to 8th and 10th for Jensen Button as well. So here we are, about to start. Fit in the car, and away we go. The beginning of the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll come up to the starting line, and the cars go zooming past, but not that quick, because obviously we're only just starting. But down the first corner, going around the outside of Ricciardo in his Red Bull, and that means we get the inside of the next lap, up to 7th place now. Massa's up ahead. We're now in 5th, so we're in a good position here. Is that Hamilton? That's Rosberg on the left-hand side, and coming down into the next corner, and all the cars go zooming past up to race speed now as we come down into sector 2. So it's a really good start that we've made here, up to 4th place already. And we're going to go down the inside. Ooh! Ouch, that was a nasty little shunt there that I made on the car of Massa. So it's a good thing we didn't get a penalty for that. But we are now on a podium finish as of now, but I doubt we're going to be able to catch Vettel and Hamilton, who have just zoomed ahead of this lead now. So coming down into sector 3, and the Williams is going down. We go a bit wide, too deep into the corner, and we've been shunted. We've been shunted by the Williams of Massa, and we're just able to hold it just about, but we managed to keep 3rd place. I don't know how the hell that happened, but now Rosberg's trying to capitalise, going down the left-hand side. Oh shit! Is he going to be able to make it stick? No, he's not. He falls back as we come down to the last corner. We make the rear tyres seize up and get a bit of squealing action. But we're now coming into lap 2 out of 18 now, and we're still holding to 3rd place. Vettel's ahead, and Alonso is actually leading this race at the moment, so God knows what happened to Rosberg on that first few corners. Unless he's the one that actually got the penalty, I can't remember. It could be, actually. It could be Hamilton that has got the penalty and not Rosberg. For what reason, however, is unknown. But yes, as I was saying before, I'm thinking of making these videos shorter, just keeping all the nice sweet bits in with the replays of all the action that happens through the race, instead of having all of these horrible little bits where it's just boring and going around circles a lot of times. But it's a nice little camera angle as we come through, turn to the third sector. Williams of Bottas is trying to get past down on the outside, but is he going to make a spin again? I don't think so. He's in the rear mirror, very close indeed. He actually goes into the barrier, I think there's a bit of contact. But overall, we managed to get through. But we're going to get some points. We're going to be able to score some big time at Canada if we keep this going. The only issue would be, of course, the pit stops. But we are keeping a nice steady pace here. That was a real nice corner. That's how you're meant to do it. And down into lap 3 now. DRS is now enabled, as the engineer states. Slight cut there, not too sure. And we're going green now, so we're starting to get into the rhythm of the race. I mean, just look how fast those guys go into that sector. Bottas just gains all of that ground that he's lost through that sector, and we finally get this corner correctly now. As they're starting to get into the rhythm, we're already 0.3 seconds faster than our previous lap. So going up to rich mode, we're saving all of our rich mode up for this last straight here for obvious reasons, because that's where they seem to catch up with us, and plus it's the longest straight of the entire Grand Prix. So it makes common sense. Comes in handy, kids. So now into lap 4. Oh, it's a bit skiddy there. We've got a nice little camera angle here of the rear where Bottas is starting to fall behind. We've got some insane pace through sector 1 and that first corner. It's my favourite part of the track. Just fly and just flick it over to the left and then quick, slow right. And then this entire sector here is just really fun to drive around. That's why I like Canada so much. It's just a nice flowing track. They're all high speed corners, and then every now and again it'll flick in a low speed one. Oh, a bit onto the grass there. We're going into rich mode early. But I think this is pretty much all that's going to happen until we get to the pit stop. So we are going to cut ahead onto lap 7 where we actually start to go in. So it's going to fade out for just 1 minute. I'll see you guys in a bit. So here we are coming down the back straight now. Lovely little helicopter angle there from the air. And as we go into the pit stop on lap 7, our tyres are orange coming in now. We're still P3. All the cars going by on the left hand side as we drop down the order. And here's the McLaren crew waiting eagerly to change onto those yellow sided tyres. And it's a 3.8 stop, which isn't really the fastest thing in the world, is it? So well done McLaren. Considering they did the fastest pit stops lately in all the other races, that's pretty appalling, isn't it? You fools. And we've got the Toro Rosso on the on the right hand side. We need to overtake him in order to make this work. He's going to slow us up otherwise. Coming up to the first sector. Oh, he backs out. Yes. Haha. We made it work. Probably the only overtake that we're ever going to do other than what we did at the start. Coming down now into the bottom of sector 3. We must make this work. Needs to be a nice fast lap. Go a bit deep there actually, probably because of the cold tyres. Button's in 9th, or 8th rather, so hopefully we won't lose too much ground going onto the straights, but only time will tell. It's a nice slow motion bit of track there, or I don't know if it's just lag, but as we come across the line, zooming past, geez, speed that it captures and down to the first corner, so how fast they enter that corner, and Bottas has overtaken us. We're down to 5th place due to that pit stop, but it looks like Bottas has actually jumped us in the pit stop battle, so that's not good. If I had maybe just a second more, I would be on par with him, but that's all it takes in Formula 1, and now we're not going to be able to catch him because he is in a Williams and they do have a very fast car. So there's a bit of a gap in between me and the next car, which is Ricciardo. As we come down to long straight, we've got 9 laps into the race and still 18 to go, and there's not really much else that happens in terms of interesting overtakes or battles because it's pretty much how it is. So we're going to skip to lap 12 now, and we are still in P4 thanks to someone else at the front going into pits. That's what resulted in the P5. Someone stayed out on the harder tyres, so we're now in P4, so we've lost out a place. Coming down the long back straight here, we've still got Rosberg behind us, fighting for that as far as he can, as many points. Obviously he needs those points to be fighting with Hamilton for this Drivers' Championship. So let's see what he can do. We're going to try and put him through his paces. Oh Jesus, oh no, no, oh shit. Come on, keep it going, don't let Ricciardo take us over, come on. Ah, oh, thank God. But that was a bad mistake. I thought it was going to keep it in check, but clearly not. I hit the gas a bit too much, the torque just carried it away, and there's not really much else I could do. But amazing camera angles here as well in Canada. A few of them, most of them are high-end camera angles in terms of what my PC can handle, because it's just so long in terms of how much it has to render. So I have tried my best to keep the interesting ones in this episode. Right, yes, lap 13 now, out of 18. So let's see what we can do in terms of keeping Ricciardo behind. Obviously Rosberg's now going to fly ahead. There's no chance of holding him. The tyres are screeching away. Jesus. Oh, did an early shift there. Didn't mean to do that. Haven't even used DRS once in this entire race. Kind of embarrassing. Oh, and we just hit the other part, so our front wing is fucked. All the 2 cars zooming past. That is a lovely camera angle that is there. Just really captures the speed at which the Formula 1 cars go past the pit straight. But yeah, it's going to be interesting now because we no longer really have a front wing anymore. It's highly damaged. So we can already see how it's affecting us through the first sector here. We can't go flat out like we used to go. That's a nice camera angle as we come round. Ricciardo looks down the inside before starting sector 2, but he doesn't quite have balls. And look, we're just struggling for grip everywhere now as the front wing has sustained quite a lot of damage. We're going to skip ahead now, and they come down. This is a bit where Ricciardo on lap 18, the last lap, tries to make a move on us, but we was able to hold him off. We tapped the barrier, which didn't cause any further damage to the front wing, luckily, and we've been able to hold on to 5th place. But it all depends on what the last corner is going to have. Hamilton is in behind us now, so he's overtaken Ricciardo. So Rosberg's going to have some good little points lead due to this race. But it all depends on what we can do on this last corner and whether Hamilton or not takes advantage of the DRS. But it doesn't look like he is. He's going on the left-hand side, but that's my racing line that I'm going to pick. So as we come through, oh Jesus, that was wide. As we come through to the last camera angle, coming down the pit straight, there's a bad exit, and Hamilton's coming up on the left-hand side, and we're going to be able to hold it for the last corner, and yes, we do. Haha! That's 5th place, or 4th place rather. I think someone must have got a penalty or something, because we did actually come 5th, as you all saw. So it looks like someone got another penalty, and we come 4th in Canada. So let's have a look at the results. Fernando Alonso is in 1st, with Sebastian Vettel in 2nd, with Rosberg finishing off the podiums in 3rd. Myself is in 4th place, with Lewis Hamilton in 5th, and Daniel Ricciardo in 6th. Nico Hulkenberg in 7th, and our teammate Jenson Button in the other McLaren in 8th. Kimi Raikkonen and Sergio Perez top off or round off the points for this race, and Adrian Sutil is just outside in his Sauber for 11th. Roman Grosjean is in 12th with Daniel Kvyat in 13th. John O'Byrne in 14th with Pastor Maldonado in his Lotus in 15th with Gutierrez in 16th, Marcos Arias in 17th, Kobayashi in 18th with the Cajuns. Good result for them, but both Williams, Bottas and Massa are DNS, which explain why we did actually indeed come 4th. So God knows what happened to them, but Caterham seem to have got an upper hand for this race. Luckily I do like them, but obviously they're now out of business. Looking at the Drivers' Championship, we are 4th with 20 or 81 points. Sebastian Vettel is still leading, but Lewis Hamilton is only 1 point behind. Dan Ricciardo is in 3rd with 87 points, 22 points behind the leaders. Nico Rosberg is behind us with Fernando Alonso in 6th. And Kimi Raikkonen is in 7th with Bottas in 8th. Massa's in 9th, don't know what that flicker was. And the rest of the field is kind of just boring, but Jenson Button is in 11th. So it's still quite an interesting championship that we've got here. It's going to take some time before everything starts panning out. Looking further down the order, Caterham are in 19th with Marcus Arias, so they're kind of mixed up with the Mauritius at the bottom. The Lotus team is in 16th and 17th in terms of the drivers, but Scuderia Toro Rosso's of John O'Byrne and Daniel Kvyat are the only ones with 1 point, so they're pretty much equal in that term at the moment. So I know you've obviously got the replay, and there's me spinning out as I come past. That's great. But we're just going to have a look at the Constructors' Championship. And Red Bull are leading with 196 points. Mercedes Petronas are in 2nd with 178. We are in 3rd with 106, with Ferrari 1 point behind us with 105. Next person down with significant points are Williams Racing in 5th, and obviously you got Force India in 6th. The rest of the field is kind of mixed up, with Caterham actually in the lead this year. So maybe that will change further down the line. I don't really know, but only time will really tell. So thank you guys for watching this. I hope you did like this episode. Obviously, as I said before, if you do like the shorter versions, then please leave a comment. Otherwise, I won't know to go back to the longer versions if that's what you prefer. So thank you guys for watching again, and please do leave a comment and a like. It takes a few seconds to do, and if you're a new viewer, please subscribe. It takes a second again, and I do really appreciate every single subscriber that I have, because it's really hard to get a channel started. So thank you for your time.